Well, hello everybody. Well, it's been quite a while since I did a video. It's just, I think it was like in March, this spring, March, that we did the golf cart in here and put a new variable speed on it and some other stuff, fixed the spring and whatnot. And that was beginning of summer, and it's just never quit, never slowed down. Yeah, it's been 8 months ago probably. Just super busy with life, work and the mini farm here. It just takes a lot of time. And but anyway, we got a 2006 Toyota 4Runner that we bought here probably, what, 2 years ago now. And it needs tires. And, you know, trying to get somebody, I just need somebody to break them off the bead because, well, there's the new tires, but it's got aluminum ribs, and my old Coates tire changer, you can't use this thing on it because you don't want to pull on the rim, on the inside of the rim, and pull it, or you have a chance of breaking the aluminum. But I just happened to see online, you know, it must have been original, but they had a Coates tire changer like this, but it had a solid arm that came up here, and then a bar came over, and then just this piece was on the bar, and when you hit the pedal, it would go down. It went straight, you know, it'd go straight down, and it would break the bead. This wasn't even there, this part, and it was made out of like 4x4 steel, and it looked like it was original. I thought, man, why can't I do that to this one instead of having this stupid, you know, thing that it kind of pulls down and back. And on steel rims, it's no problem, but on aluminum, you can't do that on aluminum because, well, for one thing, most aluminum don't have a nice lip to catch, and it just slides right off. But we're going to try to convert this thing. I'm going to try to get all this stuff off of here and get a square piece of tube and come up here and build something out here and mount this on it. So when you hit the lever, it actually just goes straight down, and hopefully I can break the bead on it. And then the other thing, which I haven't seen, you know, this thing turns. Where's the bar? You know, this bar goes on here to, you know, it spins around, you know, it goes around to take the tire off the rim. And, you know, that steel's pretty hard on aluminum. I really don't want to do that either, but I think I'm going to make some kind of a bar that will come straight out. I can adjust it with, they call it, I think a duck bill is what they call it. Put a duck bill on the end and then just use that and go around. You know, the tire will stay stationary, and then this thing turns. It's kind of the opposite of the new ones now. The tire moves and everything stays stationary, you know, on the top, and then the tire just revolves around your tooling. But I think we can do that. I think I can make a thing that will fit in this and come out with a duck bill on it, and that, because I think them are plastic. I don't think they're steel. So we're gonna try to do something different with this so I can do these tires. I just tried to get them done at a place, and they said it's gonna be next week, and it's like, I don't want to wait. Plus I want to be able to do it myself. I was gonna take the tires off and just have them break the bead and come back here, but it's going to be next week, and this is Thursday. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to work on this thing and see if we can get it to where we can do it ourselves. So let me get set up, and we'll get started. I think, here, let's pull this thing. This thing comes out. That's what that piece is, and there's a bolt that goes through there. I don't know, I don't really have nothing set up here, but that hooks on that piece right there, that bolt right there, and then that goes down when you hit the pedal, and it takes this thing, hooks over the rim and pulls it down. But yeah, but I think if we take a piece of square tube and cut it and bolt that square tube through here in between there, and then come straight up, and then have maybe a smaller tube that goes in it that can be adjusted. Well, I think we might be able to. Let's pull this apart here. I think if this could slip in a square tube, then I just drill holes so this could actually be adjusted in the square tube that sits permanent. The square tube would be permanent in here, up here, and then if that could go in that tube, that could be adjustable, and then I can take it off here and make a square piece over and somehow mount this piece onto the square tube, and this whole thing will go away. And this is just held on by a couple springs, keeps it. See if I can somehow get this. Turn this around. If I can get this mounted to a square tube somehow, you know, that's what I need, that to go down between the rim and the tire, but I need it to go straight down. Not, you know, this thing tends to pull back and force this thing down against the rim, and as it pulls back, it comes down, and it puts a lot of force on the, you know, the rim. And I just need something that comes straight down, that's rigid enough, and to pop the bead off. In theory, anyway. We're going to do that first. See if we can get that to work. If we can't get that to work, then I'm going to kind of abandon the idea of putting some kind of different gizmo on this to, you know, take the bead off the rim. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get some of this stuff out of the way, and I got half of it laying on the ground. Put that over there for now. I better save them springs and this. Put them over here. And get this sand blaster out of the way. This thing comes off of here. How does that come off? Out the back. Slides out the back. You can see I really changed tires. That's full of sawdust. There is water in there though. Well, I think. Kinda. Alright, I think we can just unbolt it. I think there's a couple bolts back here. Yeah, one there, one there. And I think this thing, yeah, this will unscrew. We can get rid of this top plate. Get this out of our way. And so you see we're missing a bolt right there. So let me get a wrench and we'll take that top plate off. That way we can see better down there. I'll get another light too. All right, well, I never did. There's a tag here. I can't tell if this is actually a Coates or not. I always thought it was. I got this thing where I worked at. Oh, you can't see it. I'll have to see if I can figure that out. I don't think that says Coates. Huh. I always just figured it's a Coates because it looked like one, but maybe it's not. Yeah, I don't see any other tags on it. There's right there and there. I'll see if I can figure out what it is, but I think I got this ready to come off the top here. All right. Yeah, I just think that if we would take a piece of square tubing, so I get the light better, square tubing, and mount it in there, drill a hole through it, this is a bolt. Bolt it down, then we may need to put something underneath here, you know, underneath it to keep that piece from, you know, rocking back and forth. And maybe just a tab of steel underneath that, the tube. And then it's a short piece of square tubing to come up here yay far, and then one to slide in it that I can adjust, way up and down. So I think, I think it's going to work. I mean, there's a grease zerk there. The thing hasn't been greased since probably last, I don't even remember greasing it in the shop at the RV company. I don't even remember greasing it there. And this thing was there when I started. I worked there 10 years. And bought this stuff, got obsolete, and we got a new, the new top style where the tire spins around and everything, and a new spin balancer. So this was just, I got this for pennies. I think I paid $25 for it. All right, well, I'm gonna kind of look at this and ponder, and I think we can do it. I think it can be done. Well, that hose is hard as a rock. Holy man. I'm not going to touch it. Yeah, there's a softball down there, a baseball down there too. I don't know how that thing got down there. Oh, well, grandkid, he might have stuffed it down there somehow. All right, well, that's all I'm going to get into it tonight. We'll get back on it in the morning, get some steel, get it cut, get it fabbed up kind of, and see if we can make this thing work. So, see you in the morning. All right, well, it's not quite early morning, but I forgot my coffee cup sitting here. But it's mid-morning, and I had to do some honeydews this morning. So I've been out in the shop doing that, and had to go back in and get something to eat quick. And so I'm gonna get this, let me turn this radio off. I'll get some stuff out of my way over there because I was cutting some wood back there for my wife. So I'm gonna get some of that stuff cleaned out of the way, and then we'll get back there and see what we need, and maybe dig some metal out, some pipe and stuff. All right, got a light over here. Let's go see if we can find a square piece of tube to fit in there yay long. And I think we're going to find one that can slip into right there. So let's go over here. Oh. Let's see if I can find a piece down here. Well, that's the biggest square I got. There's a short piece. That's probably going to be too short, but that's the same as this one. I'd say that would be long enough if we can, if that pipe will fit in there. Let's go see if that pipe will be close to that. I should have taken this big old thing off the end. Oh man, it might. Okay, now I got it stuck on there. I think it'll fit in there. It's been torched off. So some pretty, not that bad of burrs in there, but we gotta get this thing cut off straight. And then I think we're gonna be good. Get you set up here. I think that'll fit. It's a little loose, but I think that'd be okay. But I'm gonna get these ends. I'm gonna dig out my, oh yeah, that's the other, yeah. I gotta get my little bandsaw out from back behind there. So I'm gonna do some digging, get that out so it's out here, because we're gonna need it for other pieces for this. And we get that out, and then we'll get something cut, and I guess we'll go from there. All right, I got this little bandsaw here, bought at the auction around the corner. Actually, I think I paid 90 bucks for it, maybe less than that, can't remember. But yeah, it actually works pretty good. So let's clamp this in here. And get my stand behind it to hold it. And of course, you know, as normal, I gotta fix everything because it must have sat on a floor, you know, in a wet place, and that's rusted off, and this whole corner is rusted out. So I just put that C-clamp on to hold it and put it on a rolling cart for now. But yeah, it actually works pretty good. All right, let me get a little bit of oil. And sometimes this thing don't want to start. We'll see if it does this morning. Yep, good. Yeah, of course. Trying to break my spout off. And somebody must have put a on-off switch toggle. I don't think that was original. They put a little thing down here and a toggle switch to shut it off. Well, since we're done, let's see how square this thing is. Yeah, not too bad. Huh. Let's go this way. Now, see, now that way is off. Well, not terrible. And there may be there's a sharp edge, so that's not too bad. It's good enough. We're not machining anything, so yeah, we'll cut the other end here. I did go get my stand back there just to help hold it. All right, let's get this thing out of here. And then I got rolled my bench over here. And well, I guess we're gonna need to, well, that's pretty smooth, but there's a little slip there. Let's go get my deburring. Oh boy, I have no clue where my deburring tools are. I know I got this is too small. Well, that might work if we can't find. I got a whole little plastic box like these full somewhere. Them aren't it. Them are bits. I need to label these drawers. That's more. No. Milling bits. This should be center. Nope. Nope. Don't see it in here. Well, that ain't it. I think this is tap and dies, and oh, well, that shouldn't be in there. Yeah, I got all this stuff. Most of this stuff, I haven't bought one new milling tool or tap and die. These all come from the auction around the corner. I kind of keep an eye when they have milling tools. I don't think it's down here. It's just metric stuff, little. When they got milling tools, I don't think it's in here either. No, that's just shim plates. That ain't it. Yeah, I don't see it. Yep, every bit of this came from the auction or tool auctions that I go to. I just can't see spending the amount of money they want from me. Some of these here, I'm going to show you. Some of these, I mean, when I get them, they're brand new. I mean, like this one. I'm sure that's not cheap. That's, what is that? What size? That's a 1 inch. 1 inch. You know, and these are basically new. Yeah, those don't have. There's another coated one that has never been used. So I mean, I've looked up some of these, and holy Moses! I tell you what, now, I mean, I couldn't afford to do that. I mean, double-ended ones. You know, a lot of them are really sharp yet. I mean, I still got the green wax on it yet, so. I don't know if this is the correct way to store them, but I don't root in them that much. So, yeah, there's new ones. I mean, I got a bunch of new ones. It's just crazy. You know, I mean, you could buy a whole box for like 20 bucks. But I don't know what I did with my little box. Here's my, might as well, oh, let me see that. Wait, what are those? No. Grab my, here's little one. Might as well set that up there. We're gonna need it. I didn't see it. This router collets. That ain't it. I know that's not it. I got brushes. Like wire brushes. Yeah, in here with the wood stuff, but I keep my wire brushes in here. Throwing it. Yep, right there. Yeah, that's it. Well, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, let's keep the, what's that one? Oh, just, let's keep the metal working stuff with the, well, I guess the wire brushes are metal working stuff, but kind of. I'm going to put these over here in this other cabinet when we find what we need here. So, let me, I'm just going to use one of these. Yeah, these aren't super. That's wood. That's not even. I would think that one's steel. I could just use one. I don't know. Maybe that one we first found over there will work better than any because it's small. I don't know. Maybe these are wood. That's why I had them over here. I can't see. Yeah, let me find one, and then I'll get it set up in the air die grinder, and we'll go from there. Yeah. Okay, I'll get it set up and I'll bring it back. All right, I got that in. Since I keep all my cheap junk for so long, I always make sure you oil your air tools before you use them. That's a habit I got to do in the trailer factories because that's all we had back then. Now a lot of the trailer factories use nothing but cordless. I mean, a lot of the RV manufacturers here around northern Indiana, just all they do is use cordless stuff. So air is getting to be a thing of the past, but here I still use it. So let's see, let's get this cleaned up. Yeah, works really good. I don't know where I got these at. Who knows? But I've never used them before. We'll use them now. Plus, they're a little rounded, they get in the corner of the pipe a little easier. All right. Let me go get a couple wrenches for that. And something hasn't been off there for many, many years. Yeah. Well, that'll come off, I think. Sure. Get that out of the way. I'm pretty sure to get this thing to reach, this thing is down in the, say this thing's down there and it's down in the thing, that's very long reach. I want to make that kind of an adjustable. I'm going to take this off and make a new hookup on a steel pipe that will slide in and out. Maybe that bigger one, maybe that other one. Let me go get it here. We'll do something like, just imagine, I can get it off of there. Just imagine just this piece hooked onto the end of, well, do that, and then you'll have to have another one. Do I have a small piece that will fit inside that? I think. Like that. This may have to be cut down a little. Well, maybe not. And then that'll slide in. I'll weld a nut with a T-handle, and this will slide in and out. And then that will go on the end of here. So yeah, we'll make this kind of maybe a T-post like that. That way we can weld some caps on it, cap it over, make this pretty strong, because it's going to want to really, when this pulls down, it's really going to want, maybe just make some angle pieces to brace that, and then this will slide. Let me get you out of the stand. This can slide in and out with this piece on it. Have the range of adjustment. Yeah, if I get a longer pipe, I leave the back open. It can be adjusted, you know, pretty much to infinity. In fact, I think I got a longer one of these. Yeah, which I do. I think that's the same kind of pipe. So yeah, we'll just make this long. And don't need to be that long, but yeah, I think that'll work. And we'll just weld a flat piece of steel like that. Maybe notch this, set it back in, weld it, and gusset it, and then put a hole in the end for this bolt and that one. This really doesn't. I mean, it can move. Probably should do that so you can get it up under, you know, the bead. So yeah, I mean, it's going to take some work, but I think this thing will work. All right, so let's go over to, let me grab the air hose. I want to see if this might be all moot. I don't think so, but I don't think that where this hooked into, if that rocks, instead of going straight down, if for some reason that thing rocks back like that, I don't think it does, but if it does, that's going to be kind of difficult for this to go kind of straight down unless we make this kind of a swivel somehow or angle it. Let me get the air hose over there and we're going to run that and watch that bracket. All right. Let's see what happens here. See how this thing, let me get down here closer. See what this thing actually does. Oh, no, I go straight down. Good. That'll work. I mean, it does go on a little bit of a eccentric, but not nothing major. because we can still use, you know, they have this bottom bead breaker right there, which is fine. Good. I think that'll work. And this don't have to be like precision fit where there's no move. It can, you know, move a little bit. So, well, good. I just happened to think about that when we were talking about what we wanted to do. And, yeah, this don't have to be precision fit, but it should. I think I am going to still put a plate on the bottom to go out so it just doesn't flop all over. Do I want to do that? I guess if it doesn't work, we can always take it off. But all right, well, I'm going to do some measuring here and see if I can figure out what we need for this. And here, let's see if that thing, if that pipe will go. Oh, if that pipe will go in there now. Oh, yeah, well, it will, but you know what's holding it up is the weld on the inside of the tube, I think. Yeah. Right there where they put the two pieces together. Well, that could be a problem. But once it's hooked in the bottom, you can wiggle it and, you know, back and forth. And plus, you know, maybe I can clean this up a little bit. I know I can clean the round pipe up. I'm gonna get this pipe out of here and do some measuring, and we'll bring it back. Yeah, I just thought I'd bring it back, and yeah, she's welded. She's welded all the way around. So I'm gonna try to get that little deburr and see if I can cut that out. I don't want to ruin this, because if it doesn't work, I want to be able to put it back like it was. So I'm gonna try to cut that weld off. That could be fun. All right. Well, that little, sorry, got the air compressor and the heater running, but that little deburr over there in that other toolbox, wow. That's definitely not Harbor Freight grade. All right, well, I'm gonna keep on working on that and I'll bring it back. Well, let's see if I got it ground enough. I don't know if I do or not. Yeah, probably not. All right, yeah, I'll keep grinding. All right, well, I've been beating on it. We're gonna escalate this a little. I got the torch out. Wow. Kibosh, and what I want to do if I can't get that out of there. Well, now what? Well, I did crack it though. I think it is cracking. Let me get you, let's get a light in there. Yeah, I think that's cracked. Yeah. It looks like it's cracked almost all the way around. I'll keep hitting it once. Maybe it's just froze in there, you know, down the pipe farther from rust. Let's just hit that with a cold douse once. Hey, baby. All right. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Let me get something else to push that on out of there with. Okay. Another shorter piece of pipe. Let's try this. All right. Yeah, that's not too bad. Ah, awesome. Yeah, that was welded on there pretty good, but all right, I'm gonna clean this up and then I'll bring you back. Just got a lot of this boring stuff done. Got the pipe cut. Got some holes drilled. That'll go down in the, I'll show you. This will go down. I got a tire on here mocked up. That'll go down through that bolt hole. So it'll go down there like that. And then this will get put on this pipe. I'm not gonna put it on because it's really tight. So I don't know. I'm just gonna hammer it onto a hole and stop where I think it's gonna stay. If I have to move it, I can, but it's pretty tight in that pipe. And cut this short piece and put it, you know, kind of back right at the top like it was. I may just spot weld around that, and that figured out, did a lot of calculations and figuring. I hope I'm right. I think this tire over there, from the center of this to the bead, is like 8 inches, and that's a 17 inch. So that'd be right there. So you can go out, we can go out even farther. I'm never going to do 20-inch tires, I hope. I don't think I'm ever going to own anything with that, but you know, that truck tire we're going to use as the first one. I'm not going to, you know, try to maybe ruin one of my 4Runners, but this is off my Ford, and this is this is a 16. I think these are 17, but still, you know, it's still basically, forget what I measured these at. So that's about 31 inches, and this one was 30, so pretty close. So that'll be the biggest tire I ever do on this, and we can where this center post is right here, we can, you know, we got enough room to catch that big tire to push it off, hopefully. Actually, it'll be better on bigger tires because you're going to be closer to, you know, this gizmo will be closer to here. Won't be as much, you know, leverage on this weld. I think what I do with them, I got 2 of these somewhere, I thought, or I'll cut another one. I was thinking about putting those kind of like that, you know, to help stiffen that up. So let me get some things ground off, get the paint ground off, and we'll get the welder and we'll start welding this. Don't need anything on that one. I'm gonna make this plate here. I'm gonna weld those two together so I got a bigger plate. I didn't have any wide steel, so these two will get welded together to make a plate to go in there. You know, they'll slip in there. I gotta clean all this up here. Not like that. That will work. All right, well, got my welding cart pulled out here. I just bought this Vulcan here a while back. I love it. I absolutely love it because I got a regular MIG welder, and then my flux core, and then my plasma cutter. But I go to this thing almost 90% of the time because I don't have to turn the gas on, do all that. It's just, you can just plug it into 110 and turn it on, and you're ready to go. And it welds really good, this little Hobart. So, I guess I'm gonna get these tacked together first, and then we'll tack those together. Put you up here in the stand for a little bit. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of filming with the welder because I don't know. I guess you can blow your lens out, and yeah, I don't want to pay for another GoPro, so I'll weld a little bit. Yeah. Well, that looks bird turdish. I had my wire speed way too fast. All right, that's good. That'll work. I ain't a professional welder by no means, so. All right, I guess we'll tack this quick while it's sitting there. All right, that's good enough for test purposes. I'm gonna clamp this down, grind this smooth, and I'm gonna drill a hole in it yet for that duck bill or the bead breaker. And I'm not gonna put these on so we make sure everything's gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind that off, get that straight, get a hole drilled, get it so we can mount this bead breaker on it. And I'll clean this up so we can mount that flat plate on there and kind of get this mocked up on there, and we should be ready to go over and test fit it. Okay. All right. This thing is still hot. Put that in there like that. I'm gonna keep it away from the top a little. We'll mark these holes, and then that will get this will get right there, that'll get welded up on the bottom of that. So got my drill press still set up. I'm gonna go cut some holes. All right, there, I got them holes drilled out. Put the bolts back in there, snugged it up. That was a pin because the original one swiveled a little bit, but this one I don't want it to swivel, so I'm just going to put that pin back in. And now all we got to do is move some stuff, clean this up, get this welded on there like that, and I think I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I should have made one side level. We could probably fill that up with weld, but I may grind that off or put it in the saw and just cut that so it's a smooth. I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt nothing, but okay. I'll clean this up and straighten this up and get this welded on, and I think we're ready to kind of put it together and see what happens. So All right, well, I got that tacked on to that, just tacked on. And this is on, got the bottom part over there already. And put it in the bottom. I had to ream out the hole down there to make it fit. And I put a plate, let me lay this down. Put a plate on the bottom here. Just got that tacked on. It does have some play in it, but if that's a problem, we can always fix it. But this pipe is, whew, it's tight in there. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And let's see if we can do this one-handed. Put that, I know that goes, well, it did until I hit the crap out of the top. Well, that was dumb. That won't fit. Well, it should. It doesn't feel. Yeah. That goes on like that. This, I will cut this off when we roll. Not back far enough. Dadgummit. I thought I measured that. I don't know where my measurement went wrong here, but oh, I see what it is. I was saying, man, I thought I measured better than that. But you probably are yelling at me. I turn that around like that. Oh, that's much better. Oh, it's getting late. There we go. I was saying, man, I thought I measured better than that. So, yeah, I don't like that rocking, but I guess we'll see what it does. And I got to pound this thing down probably at least to that hole and put a bolt in it. But man, it's wedged in there. If I ever want to get it out, I'll have to, oh yeah, ooh, I welded a plate on the bottom. How am I going to get that up and out of there? Well, that ain't good. I'll have to blast a hole in the bottom of that plate so I can stick a rod in there to, if I ever want to move that. All right, well, you know what? It's getting late tonight. And, I mean, you get the idea what we're going to do. That's it for tonight. I'm going to close up, go do chores, and then I got some other things I got to get done yet tonight. And I'm going to get back on this in the morning. So we'll see you then. Okay, well, next morning, get out here and we'll get this. They'll get this contraption out of here. I think I just got to take, pull this out first. Get this. Yep. Nut on that. Pull that bolt out. I gotta have two hands, so hold on a minute. I'm gonna put you down for a second. All right. Oh, you got it out of there. Take this back over the bench. And gotta weld everything up now solid, and then put our gussets in there, and I'm not gonna paint the thing or do anything to it till I know it works. I don't want to go through all this, all this trouble. It's already taking a day to do this, maybe a little longer, but get this all welded up. I'm gonna try to get this thing pounded down to the next hole. And if we ever got to take it off, we'll have to drill a hole in the bottom here so I can stick a rod up to push this thing out, because this thing is tight in there. but I think the one setting will do most everything we need to do. It would have been nice if I would have thought about it to make this part, you know, adjustable up and down. That way this could have just stayed in one position, but oh well, that's what it's gonna be. And then we can cut this off to about right there, so this isn't near as long. But all right, let me get this thing taken apart. I'm gonna get everything set up to start welding, and we'll get this thing welded up. And I got a couple holes. Oh, I gotta put the T-handle or something on here to hold this from sliding in and out. And a couple other things, and we'll be ready to go. Something like that, I guess. I'm gonna tack that on there quick. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. That should work. I'm gonna go ahead and finish welding all that, and then I'll bring you back. Where's my other one? Right there, I think. Yep. Yeah, this stuff's thin enough that if it was thicker, I would have drilled a pilot hole, but this will work. All right, let's go over here, and I'm gonna weld the nuts on it, and all right. Well, I'm gonna grab a couple of small bolts. I thought I had one here. All right, let me get this welded up and I'll bring you back. All right, got those welded in. This is what you call a farmer's weld. Yep, it ain't pretty, but it works. I'm gonna sacrifice a couple carriage bolts for the handle. All righty. All right, let's let that cool down. I got this piece cut off to length. Got that piece cut off to length. Got everything welded up, I hope. And the only thing we got to do is figure out how to, I guess, just beat this down one more hole. And then, yeah, there we got to take it off. Gonna be a treat. So I'm gonna bang on that thing, get it down, get the pin back in it, or the bolt back in it, and get it bolted into the tire changer and try it on that old tire back there. All right, got the hose put in. Let me move you over here, and let's see what happens. All right, I think this is adjusted pretty good. All right, well, all we can do is try it. Well, that still wants to pull backwards instead of straight down. And it needs to be closer. If this would stay forward, might work, but the other thing is this bottom one here is going up against the tire and stopping it because it's not wanting to pop the bead. So, oh boy. I'm going to try dropping this. I'm going to pull this bolt out and hammer this thing down to this bolt and see what happens. I don't know if that's going to help us or not. May have been a grand waste of time. Okay, I'll bring it back. All right, well, I took it apart and fail number one. And I had to cut the bottom. I'm going to cut, or I did, cut the bottom off this, drive this pipe out. I think I'm going to try to use the original hose. That way it gives me different levels. All right, take two. Now I got to turn this thing around here. Always want to put that in the wrong way. Like that. Put this thing back on. And this will have some adjustment now like it did before. Like that. All right. Let's try that. Okay, take two. Well, that's a lot better, but it just doesn't have. Let's see if I can go up one. Right, cracky. I think she's gonna work. Let's keep trying it once. I may get a bar and help it. It's gonna do it. Now, if I can. Let me get a tire bar. Oh man, that tire is on there. Come on. If that thing wouldn't be hitting down there, because I got plenty of travel right here yet. I don't know, I don't like that one underneath. I wonder if there's a way to disable that. That looks pretty good there. I got, that's a lot of travel right there. I got one more. Oh, that's I got one more. I can go one more. Bar. Got it. Wow. That baby was on there. And still on there. It's still stuck. Woo! My. Well, it worked. I think on the aluminum it will be a lot easier. I think that'll work. Alrighty, well, I got it. I brought it over here. I wasn't gonna film this, but I guess I'll film a little bit of it. Just I want to paint this thing up and get it painted so this thing's all done. So let me get some paint around and take some of this stuff apart here. I don't want to paint I'm gonna paint these black, but not the threads. But yeah, I'm just gonna quick spray bomb this thing. I got the paint over here on my heater blower, trying to warm it up because it's only, I keep it only at 40 degrees in here, so it gets kind of chilly. Let's see if I can get this out here with one hand. And then we'll just quick give that a spray and let it dry, and then I may here in the next day or so get the Toyota in here and get these tires put on, and then I'll bring you back and we'll see how it does on real aluminum rims. Hopefully a lot better than that old steel one that's been on there forever. So let me get a can of spray bomb and let's spray bomb this quick. All right, well, that's the last coat of paint I'm going to give it. So it is what it is. So we'll let that dry overnight and come back and put it together. And I got the Toyota in here, and we're going to take off the back tire first and see how this thing does on an aluminum rim. The only thing I don't have is for the bars. When I go to peel this off of here, I don't have a cover for it, you know, to protect the rim. I may just have to wrap some black tape around the bar and protect it that way. But I know they used to make, I don't know if they did for these or not, but plastic snap-on plastic jobbies that snapped over these to protect rims. But I don't have it. I had this taped up, so may just have to tape it up again. And I got a couple bars from Harbor Freight, and if I have to, I'll just walk them off by hand instead of trying to spin around on the rim. So, all right, let me get this tire off, get the Toyota tire put on here, and we'll go from there. See if I can do this without hitting the rim. Let me move you out of the way. Oh, yeah, there it goes. All right, let's get it over to the tire changer. All right, let's get the valve stem out of here. I don't know. We'll see. It may be a wasted time. All right. Got a bottle of soapy water and some duct tape. See if I may wrap this. If I use this, I'm gonna have to wrap it. Okay. Well, the biggest thing is to see if this thing can even break the bead loose. And I guess we're gonna find out here. Oh, I gotta put my center cone on. Huh? Okay, air would be nice too. All right, well, here it goes. Boots suck on here. Okay, am I hitting back here? Yeah, that bottom thing is hitting the rim. Yep. So the rim's too big. Well, that was pretty anticlimactic. Is there a way that I can... It's coming up and hitting it's coming up and hitting the rim, this thing. Now I just wonder if there's a way to disable that. All right. I wish there was a way to get rid of this computer. But there's no hole on the side to get. So just take that off of there. Take the snap ring off the back here and just pull this thing completely out of here once. Okay, let me get a snap ring pliers and let's take this off once. Alright, let's take this off. Never even know that this one was under there. I don't know what that's for. I'm gonna have to do a little reading now. I don't know, maybe there's a way that you can disable this completely without doing all this, but let's see if I can. The washer gonna fall right here. Okay. There's another one. All right. Kind of seems like a lot of work for tires, but if I don't do it that often, it's not going to really be that big of a pain to do. All right, let's try it again. Let's see what happens without that back end kick up. I gotta change this around here. I got one more hole. Okay. All right, okay, here we go. Whoa, come on. Push this. Same around the middle. All right. It's gonna take to get used to what works here and what doesn't. Just leave it like that. There. Now see what happens here. I think I need to put a handle on this. It looks like it's so close. I don't know. Look at the way to keep this from back up. Would help I go all the way out. We'll try it. This all out, so keep it up in holes. Let's try that one. Well, there. Now it's rubbing against the back here. Yeah, all right. Well, it's not super easy, but now I don't know what to flip that around. I might break the bead loop on the other side since we can't use that other thing. And if I do that, I'm gonna lay it right, I'm gonna scratch my rim. I'm gonna change these tires on this no matter what. Let me get something to lay across there. Got a nice pink towel since it's my wife's car. Yeah, I don't know if I like that or not, because it's really pushing down on this one spoke. There's no way do that. I don't have to use that prong thing because I'm not turning it. Well, let's try it. No, it's not pulling that hard. Oh, that baby is stuck. Yeah. It's popped loose. I guess I just turned the tire a little, huh? What I'm doing is, not saying this is the way you should do it, but I got it on this hump here on the tire changer. I got 2 of the spokes on that. I'm not using the little rod that goes in the lug nut hole because we're not trying to turn anything on it. And but that gives it a little more support instead of just on one and lining that hole up with that rod. So there we go. Well, not something I'd want to do for a living, running something like that, but the more I do it, now I can flip it back around. And putting the tire on isn't going to be that big of a deal. But all right, well, let me, I don't think I got, yeah, my soap is just about dried up. I'm going to need some. Oh, well, I think I need a new, whatever you call it. I think that one's done for. I need to put some black tape on this too. All right. That should work. Not used to working on such big tires. Wow. Just ain't got enough. There it goes. Yeah, that's all right. Now the hard part. Alright, let's see if we can get this on. They're on. There you go. Good. Alright. One off. Woo. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch that. I don't think it did. If it does, it's only going to hit like right there. So, but it looks good. Now I want to clean these up real good. And then getting one on might be fun. But if I have to, I can do it with the bars. Sometimes when you're using this to put these big tires on, it can damage the bead area, you know, like right in there. And so that's why I got a couple bars from Harbor Freight. If I gotta work them on by hand, I work them on by hand. So, all right, let me get this rim cleaned up, and then I'll bring you back when I'm ready to put a tire on. All right. This is good. A good squirt of Dawn soap water, mixed pretty heavy. I like that little brush that I broke because it helps like foam it. Nice, this one just hop on there. Yeah. Too bad. Once I learn how to do one, second one will go a lot easier. All right. I'll be able to use this to go as far as I can. That wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. All right. All right, let's see if we can pop this tire on. Come on. Almost. We get a ratchet strap. Well, maybe everybody knows this, but you've got a tire and you're having trouble getting on a bead, you can always hook a ratchet strap around it. Kind of helps suck it up. All right. I don't think we're going to get it that way. But there is another way. And don't do as I do. Let me get stuff around. All right, well, if all else fails, use fire and starting fluid. I don't recommend doing this, but I don't have time to keep messing with this tire, so we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way and hopefully don't blow ourselves up. Okay, here we go. Well, that didn't work. I want to get this air on it. Well, I'd say that's about the right amount of starting fluid. All right, let's get the air going first. Well, that didn't work. There it goes. Woo, got it. Ah, you. No. I had it. Oh, I think that's why. It's not even adding air to that. It's just leaking. You go get a valve extender. Put this on. Well, that ain't gonna stay on there. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. All right, now I got one that's got actual threads on the end. Hopefully that thing will stay put on there. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. All right, well, one more time. Why? Oh. All right, we're gonna try fire again. I kind of got it blocked up on each side to help start it. And I got it started up over the sensor there, so let's see if this helps. Here we go. Now I just need air. Woo! There we go. Oh my word. All right, well, it works. Now I know what to do on the next one. I'm just gonna block it up first time and be done with it. But yeah, it's, if you don't have a bead, an air blower bead setters, I forget what they call it, bead dogs or something like that. But all right, get my air checker, get this put back on the truck, and do the next one. All right, number 2. Let's see if this one goes better. Help this go along. Nope. Almost. There we go. Well, it's not too bad. Now the other side. Yeah, if that foot would work. Tire wouldn't be too big. Use a hole. I want to put it so 2 of them are on there. That worked good. Keep more pressure. I'm about to spin this around. Yeah, I'll just loosen it. Spin it just a little bit to break the rest loose. Oh boy, it's stuck on there. Alright, there we go. That wasn't bad. Better than the first one. Well, so far I think it was worth the time doing. And there's the first, I wasn't sure. Sure if it was going to be worth doing or not. But, yeah, well, there's two. All right, this time got the valve stem on this side, so when I prop the tire up, I can reach the sensor and get the tire above the sensor, and I'll put my couple boards under it. On as good as the other one. First one went on pretty good. This one ought to go on maybe a little better. Come on. All right. That wasn't too bad. Oh, it's really corroded there where they had a weight. Here's where the other one was, but there's one right here. So I don't like those. All right. Now the fun time. All right, we gotta do some fire. I'm not gonna mess with it. All right, it's up past the valve stem. All right, here we go. Woo, that is so much easier. Don't do that at home. Oh, that's so much easier. The other two, if they go easier and easier, by the time I get to the fourth one, I'll be able to whip these babies out. Just like a professional shop. You know, it says, remember, it says for professional use only. So maybe I'm good enough that I can use that. So, all right. All right, well. Hope you found this interesting. Hopefully, if you got an old machine like this, you know, maybe you can improve this. Or if you got anything to say that would improve this, you know, shoot me in the comments. But at least you get the idea. I know everybody can model stuff different for what they need or what they think will work, which is great. But it's a base idea. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this online. But you know, the new tire machine, everything's so expensive. It just drives me nuts. So, and I'll keep, you know, if I have to, I'll keep modifying this to get better and better. Like when I put my bar in here, I put that tire bar in there so I could give it some forward pressure. I think I might just extend the handle kind of up at an angle that you can, you know, pull on it or push on it to keep it in. That would help a lot. So there you go. Hope it was fun, entertaining, or informational. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya. I thought I took a video of it, but I didn't hit the right button. But wrap the ratchet strap back here, running around the middle section, and one push, and it popped it off. Keeps it from backing away.